get me? Hard lessons, you get me? I don't joke with the lessons, you get me? Real blessings, fam.
Yes, family, welcome back to another one. My name is Unique Creation. Welcome to another Unique Sessions episode, discussion, conversations, where I share things that are in line with biblical principles and how I see it because of just living it out, the things I've learned from living these scriptures out. I pick out different aspects to share. So yeah, the title of today's episode is I Love You. What does that mean? Once again, I love you. What does that mean? Now, when I say that word, a lot of people go to romance and stuff like that because that's what I guess our society mostly points out about it. But I just want to go into a bit deeper. I don't want to go a little deeper about it today. For example, I made a previous episode called How to Start Loving, and I guess this is a bit of a refresh from that as well of how do you start loving people? Just a little bit of a refresh. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through a few points about what love isn't, what love is not. Now, love is not enabling somebody's wrongs. I have to go straight to that. I love you, so I will not make you uncomfortable. That's not what love is. I just have to address one straight. Enabling somebody's wrongs is not love. Saying because I love you, I don't want to, make you uncomfortable around me. I don't want to make you feel bad. So I'm not going to say the right thing for your own benefit. I'm just going to support the wrongdoing that's probably going to be harmful to you in the future, and you can keep going that way. That's not what love is. That is something that's taken on a lot these days, and a lot of people don't want to be that aspect of discomfort for somebody or a object of contention, so they choose to enable people's wrongdoings, bad choices, bad decisions, and wrong thought process. That is not love at all. And the reason why I say that's not love is because if you genuinely love someone, you're always gonna want to be somebody who speaks something right into their lives. If they're going wrong, you put them back on the right path, which is always better for you. The right path is always the best path. They say honesty is the best policy. So if you know deep down that this person is doing wrong and you see them doing wrong, but you don't want to make them uncomfortable, obviously I know it's important how you apply what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is if you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable, then what you're actually doing is enabling their wrongdoings, which makes you a part of the problem, not a part of the solution. Just saying, that's not love. Another thing that love is not, temporary emotional highs. Love is not temporary emotional highs. Love, emotions, it should be applied to love. It's a part of love, whether you feel great when you're around the person, whether that person excites you, maybe you just want to, that person gets in your last nerve. Temporary emotional highs is not love. I think a lot of people are getting into relationships because of the emotional highs. And I don't know about you, but I can speak for a lot of people, including myself. When you get gassed on someone, sometimes the emotional highs can actually blind you to what everybody else sees. Did I just say highs? Wow. Okay, well, the freshness is still there. But yeah, love is not temporary emotional highs. That's why it's so important that, one, from the relationship aspect, if you're seeing someone and you really like them and you're getting gassed off them, they excite you, they make you feel great, they make everything feel better, that's an emotional high. Sometimes the people around you may be seeing things that you don't see, and they ask you questions. This is another thing because it applies to the previous one. Now, if that person loves you, they can either enable your emotional high and ignore all the warning signs they see because they're not the ones in love with the person. They're sober-minded at this point. They can analyze. But because they love you, they don't want to be, I don't want to bring any contention, any problems. But if you genuinely see a problem that will harm somebody that you care about, even if they don't want to say it, you have to try and find a way to tell them. Not by force. I'm not saying, okay, you may need to headlock your boy if he's that hard-headed. But what I'm saying is, it's all about how you apply it based on how you know the person. But when you're up there emotionally, just know that emotions do this. They go up and down, they sway left and right. They're not always like consistent, like, you know what I mean? So with that is, don't think because somebody has gassed you up, got you all high up here, that you are in love. I mean, it's great if you love someone and make you feel that way, but that's a part of love. It's not a great signal for it because a lot of people are going off those highs, and as you can see, the divorce rate is a mad thing. It's not something to really base things too much on. And another thing that love is not controlling. Love is not controlling. It doesn't control you. Oh my days. Listen, I don't know, man. Throughout this whole lockdown period and everything that's happened, you hear a lot about people who can't work from home, and you even hear hints that the reason why they don't want to be at home is because they're suffering abuse. I'm just going to the extremes now of people getting beaten up because they're not, people beating someone up because they're not getting their way. That's not love. When someone tries to control you and make you conform to how they think you should be, I'm not talking about passing on, the right disciplines, the right teachings, the right subjects. I'm just talking about they're constantly on your neck, on your back. They won't let you live, because it's not even that the way you are is wrong. It's because they just don't want it to be that way. So they always want to get their way with you, to the point where it can even go as extreme as manipulation. That's not love. Love is not to be a control freak against the other person. That is not love. Now, I've given a few points of what love is. Now I will go to what love is, which is, it's a selfless act of patience. And I do say the word selfless, because if you look at the other points I talked about where love is not a selfish thing inherently. Love, when you're trying to control someone, it means you're trying to get your way, so it points back to you. When you're on a temporary emotional high, it's you on that high. When you're enabling someone's wrongs, it's because you don't want to face the discomfort of being that elephant, that person that brings out that elephant in the room that should be brought up, especially if it's harmful or dangerous to that person. So love, back to what love is. Love is a selfless act of patience. That means that you don't lose your rag every time the person frustrates you, especially if you're in a long-term commitment with the person. Whether it's your brother, family member, you need patience across the board. It's good not to let your emotions flare up every time something irritates you. If it's something small, it's best to learn to just let it go. Just let it go for the sake of peace in the home. This ain't enabling, this is just knowing that it's not about every little petty thing that you should be, fighting a war over. And that's what I'm talking about today. Is love is a selfless act of patience, taking time with the person. Love is kindness, an act of kindness, thinking about the person and doing what makes their day better, whether it's a friend or family member or a partner. Despite how you feel, it's about being faithful to the person. It's about giving your time, your energy, resources, and yourself to the person. God is the definition of love, because everything I share came from the Bible. So check it out if you want to find out. There's actually scriptures that talk about that, which I will post at the bottom of this video in the comments if you want to read more about it. And of course, love is investing in someone, taking time to know and understand the person. You can only love someone as deeply as you know them. When you know somebody more, then you know how to apply love towards that person. I'm just giving little nuggets, a refresh of that previous one, because how to start loving, but there's also more to love. So when you say I love you, are you living out all these things? Are you acting out all these things? All these points that are pointed out, are you actually doing them? Because if you're doing them, then you're loving the person. Love is not just words you say. Love is an action and a way you live towards that person, in a nutshell. So yeah, I hope that helps somebody. If you know somebody that needs this video, please share it with them so that they can see what I'm talking about. And there's a lot more love on that. So if you have any questions, just leave a message in the comment, and I'll always get back to you about it. There's a lot more. Love is a huge thing. It's not a small thing at all. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this. My name is Unique Creation. I'll see you at the next one. Much love. Bless.
Lessons, you get me? Hard lessons, you get me? I don't joke with the lessons, you get me? Real blessings, fam. Took losses but never lost myself the last lesson.